Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for listening in. I promised you that I would do a video about grounding with my voltmeter, this time a bit more scientific. I showed you a video about my grounding mat yesterday and I didn't get the chance to show you the effect it does. So I actually can't show you my grounding mat anymore. I've left it in the hotel room last night, so not great, but I'll make another one, so that's all good. But I just want to show you what it means by being grounded and not grounded, and why we are when we are at home, we are so positively charged by the electricals, all the wiring behind the switches, behind our walls. So anything with electrical wire behind the walls, even when you can't see it, if you stand near it, even if you're not too near it, your body gets charged up. And this is the proof. I'll show you. And after I've shown you, I'll talk about why it's bad to be in that state, being constantly charged up, because it's actually really just not natural. Our body is not meant to have positive charge. We're supposed to be in a neutral position. So when you are outside, you walk around bare feet, you touch the ground. The ground conducts electricity. It has negative ion from the earth. And when you're positively charged and you touch the ground, you get neutralized. All this positive charge goes away. It becomes neutral. So this is my voltmeter. And one part of my voltmeter needs to go onto the ground. And this is how I attach it to the ground, because as you know, the electrical pin, there's 3 pins, and one of the pins, the bottom one, is the ground. And this little socket, not a socket, what do you call this? A plug, has only the ground one, the ground pin live is metal. The rest is plastic, so it doesn't conduct electricity. So only the ground one is live. So if you attach to this plug, you attach to the ground. So I'm going to put that in there, and I'm going to turn my voltmeter on. And the other wire, the red one, is when I touch the end, and when I do touch the end, it measures my body. And I'm going to show you what the reading is when I'm not touching my concrete floor, because my concrete floor is actually a grounding material. It conducts electricity, so it can access the ions, negative ions from the earth. So I'm not touching the ground, and this is my reading. This is my finger, and this is my reading, 6 volt. And if I lean towards my kitchen bench top, where all the electrical circuits are, it slowly creeps up to almost 8 volts, 7.86. So the closer I get to it, now my whole body is touching the bench top now, where the socket is. I'm touching it. It's 8.29 volts. Can you imagine that when you're in your bed, you are sleeping next to your socket, and behind the socket there are lots and lots of wires, and this is how you sleep all night long, about 8 volt. If you're a bit further away, maybe 5 volt. If you sleep on a metal bed, it gets worse. It's probably 10 volt. I've tried that. I'll show you next time. And if you sleep on a mattress with spring underneath it, it amplifies that again, that charge. You probably end up with 12 volt, even worse. So can you imagine sleeping like this for 8 hours a day in your bed, supposed to be restful, but your body is constantly on the edge because it's not neutral. Your body is charged. It's under chronic stress, even though it's low stress. I don't know how low it is, but even though it's not full on stress, but it's always there. So when your body is constantly under stress, it doesn't help with the healing process. Your body is always, it's caused inflammation, basically, and it doesn't help with cell repairs. It has a lot of disadvantages being not in a neutral state. It's like you're constantly stressed. So I'll show you how it changes when my feet touches the ground. When my feet touch the ground, this one immediately comes down to 0.1, and it's still coming down. My feet still touching the ground. It's hard to read with the reflecting light. Yep, there you go. It's coming down to 0.0. Even though I'm still next to the bench top, I'm still next to the socket. Oops, sorry. the earthing wires come off. So let me try that again. So my feet are touching the ground. I'm still next to the bench top, and my charge has now come down to 0.09. And if I lift my feet off the ground, it's gonna creep up again. Immediately, it goes up to 8. So I put my feet down, comes down, lift my feet up, 8.5 volt. That's not great, but that's why I love my concrete floor, and that's why I'm saying my concrete floor grounds me. When I got it, I didn't know. At the time, I did wonder, but I never knew because I had a layer of wax there. I don't know if the wax is going to stop the conductivity of the concrete, but it doesn't seem to have any effect, which is fantastic. So if I walk around bare feet in the house, I'm basically walking outside bare feet. And it neutralizes the electrical charge on my body. There you go.